My name is Victoria Callaghan. I'm 25 years old and I'm a banker at Westpac.
When Victoria first came to Champions Gym, she was a very quiet girl. Just kind of kept to herself and flew under the radar.
So a bit about me and Muay Thai. I started when I was 18 years old, so I'd left high school, got a bit unfit, clubbing, drinking, eating Maccas every night. Yeah, so I found Muay Thai originally because I wanted to get fit, I wanted to be healthy, I wanted to be strong. I got addicted to it. I had my first fight within about a year and a half. I was about 19 at the time, took a bit of a break, about 3 years, sort of worked on my career. Came back to it about 2 years later when I joined Champions Gym, and I've had 10 fights now. My biggest accomplishment today in Muay Thai would be that I'm a 4-time state champion in 2 different sanctions, so WMC and WBC. So 3 times in WMC, and my biggest accomplishment in terms of fights would have to be my most recent fight. I defended against my WMC title belt against the same girl. She's very hungry, very strong, world champion in IFMA, gold medalist. So yeah, to come out, beat her the first time and then also beat her the second time was the highlight of my career so far. This is Smokey. He's very vocal, he loves to talk. I've had him for less than a year now. He was 2 years when we got him. So we got him from a family, and yeah, he just fits in our life perfectly. He runs with me every day, he's my running buddy. Some days I get up and I don't want to go, but he's there licking my face. If I wasn't a fighter, I think I'd have a house full of pets, but don't have the time to take care of all of them. So yeah, they're like my children. So that's just in training recently before my last WMC title. WBC, so that was my second title. Fight poster for my first ever title a couple of years ago. That's our camp for our first title fight. That's the win. That's an action shot, one of my favourites. So I got started at Champions Gym about 3.5 years ago. So I'd stopped, I'd gotten, again, really unfit, and probably the heaviest I've ever been, I'd got up to about 75 kilos. Currently fighting at 61, so it's a huge difference. I've got a lot more muscle than I did back then as well, so it's a huge difference if you look at me a couple of years ago to me now. So when I came back, I didn't have any intentions of fighting, I just wanted to get fit. A lot of people in Champions Gym are very driven, and my coaches, so that sort of got me started again and got my passion started again, yeah.
One thing that we as coaches really recognise with Victoria though is that she has a lot of natural ability, a lot of fast reflexes, probably given her Taekwondo background. With regards to Victoria's work ethic, she is one of those individuals that continually is all about what she sets out to do, meaning that, inside the gym she trains hard and works hard, and outside the gym she's still focused on that, and she doesn't detract from the task at hand.
Okay, so we'll start from the bottom. So 2012 I lost my first fight, and then I came back in 2014, won that fight, and then again in 2014 I think again, that's 1, 2, fought at Epic. I lost on that one, so that's my only 2 losses. From there we go to Domination. Won that, also won Promising Fighter of the Night, which is this one here. I got 2 trophies for that one. That was the next one. That was a really big one for me because I'd already lost to that girl. So I came back with a big win. It was a really awesome fight. And then we went on to, from there, first state championship, which was one of these WMCs. I can't remember which one it was. And then I went on to fight for the WBC belt. So that was my next state title fight. Then we went on to another WMC, and then I defended again, so I've got another one here. And this spot here is going to be for my national title when I win it. The hardest thing about getting started was, I guess, having the confidence to come to a gym where everyone was, really fit, really healthy, and I clearly was the opposite of that at that time. Like it was hard to keep up, and it was hard to come back every day. You basically have to push your boundaries every single day to try and keep up with everyone else. But I did, and that's probably one of my biggest accomplishments as far as fitness and health wise goes, because I pulled myself from, like I said, I was 75 kilos. I'm now fighting at 61 kilos. So just getting to a state where I was, I guess, comfortable with myself was the hardest thing. Get an action shot. So she was the WBC champion, Alice Becklake. It's behind the scenes shot by Emmanuel Rudnicki. I think it's about understanding that there's other people out there that know more than you. We have coaches for a reason. If we already knew everything, we wouldn't need to come to class and you know, be surrounded by these coaches and listen to them. I think that's probably what makes me a good student. I just listen and I try and implement everything. Still have your own style, which is really important, obviously. That's what makes it enjoyable, that's what makes it you. Oh man, people that ask me about taking up Muay Thai, I just tell them, why haven't you already done it? It's as clear as that. You're never going to be as young as you are now. And if you want to start it, you should start it now, because if you start it later on in life and you think to yourself, oh, I want to fight, sometimes it is too late. So I think just do it. That's, you know, there's nothing more to it. To do what I do and be at this level is really just planning, having a diary, knowing where I'm going to be pretty much every single day of the week. I know what I'm eating, I know where I'm going to be, I know when I'm training, I know when I'm sleeping. It's really just about being organised and I guess being disciplined as well. It's very easy to fall off track and think, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. But you've also got to remember while you're doing all these planning to also make time for the fun stuff in life, because it's not just about smashing goals and being the best in Australia. It's also about enjoying it life as well. So that's probably something that I've learned slowly. You can sort of get really stuck, you know, just grinding. So I think, yeah, just enjoying life, but also being really disciplined and planning and sticking to that plan.
As a coach, you can't ask much more than that. Like when you tell her to do something, she'll do it to the T, plus more. And I think that is the reason why Vic is so successful with what she does today.
I think a lot of people set themselves goals that sometimes they should be attainable, but they don't, because they don't make the plans and they don't sacrifice the things that they need to sacrifice. For instance, if you want to be a fighter, you know, you can't go out on a Saturday night and drink and do all that sort of stuff, because you got to get up the next morning and go for a run. I can't remember the last time I had a drink, to be honest, probably my last state title, and that's just how it is, and that's just a sacrifice, and I'm happy to make that sacrifice for this because I love it. That was my first title defence. Yeah, that was a really hard fight, as you can see. The fight, yeah, it was really, really tough. Like everyone else, you know, I struggle with, you know, coming to the gym, keeping up with work, training. You go to work every single day, work full time, just like everyone else. Then I come to the gym and I train my ass off, just like any other fighter. I think some of the struggles that I face are balancing everything. So being social, seeing my family, you know, seeing my partner, and then also feel like I'm getting somewhere with fighting. You know, as a fighter, you're constantly wanting to progress, because if you don't, then you get left behind. So yeah, one of the biggest things that I've struggled with is yeah, just trying to balance everything. So slowly I'm getting better at that, just being a bit more social. I guess just enjoying it a bit more as well. That's probably been one of the hardest things. You get really serious. You rock up to the gym, you think, oh, I have to do this and I have to be that and I have to, you know, be this certain person. But you just got to be yourself. You got to do your best every single day, and that's all you can do, and that's something that my coach always tells me. Oh, here we go, John Wayne Parr. That was a really big show. John Wayne Parr versus Daniel Dawson. So it was a really big, sold out, huge fight in WA. I think you just got to take every day step by step. Like if you really want it, if you do want to be a champion, you've just got to, you know, it's one foot in front of the other. If that's where you want to be, you just set small goals, work at it every single day, and just remember why you started. I've recharged both at home and at the gym. I guess there's two different sides, and I guess there's two different sides of me as well. There's, I guess, the go-getter that wants to get things done and smash out workouts, and there's also the side of me that's really lazy and that likes to relax and that sort of thing. So I get best of both. I come home and I can just relax and just be the lazy old Vic that I am, and then I can go to the gym and really turn it on and be that aggressive go-getter. I'm a really competitive person. Everything I do, I always try and sort of outdo people. It's probably sometimes not such a good thing, but for this sport, it's great. And when I first started, I didn't have the idea that I wanted to be a champion. I wanted to have like one fight or something like that. But I kept coming. My coach kept pushing me. My coach saw the potential in me and really encouraged me. And I really enjoyed that. And I guess I liked the idea of being a champion or even just being a good fighter, so I kept coming. I kept taking the fights that were given to me, so I took those opportunities, and I guess I always knew that I loved it. So yeah, that's sort of how I got to where I am at the moment. I think I'm a pretty dynamic fighter. I can be really aggressive when I need to be. So I think I discovered that aggression through Muay Thai, but I never really knew that I had that in me to fight and be good at it. So yeah, when I did discover that, I realized, okay, well, I've got this. Where can I use this? Muay Thai. It's perfect. But I do prefer to be technical. That's sort of where I like to fight. I think I see Muay Thai as an art form. It's not, killing each other. It's martial arts. That's what it is. The effect that Muay Thai has had on my life has been amazing. It's probably the best thing that I've done for myself. Confidence, like I said before, I didn't have a lot of confidence. When you don't feel good about yourself, you don't feel like you're succeeding in life. Muay Thai has sort of given me that platform to be able to feel good about myself and also do something that I really love, and it's really fun, and there's an amazing community of people inside the gym, outside the gym. I guess it's just belonging to something that's really exciting, and being able to compete at an Australian level as well, which is a huge thing for me. So yeah, just having something that I feel like I've accomplished is probably the biggest thing that Muay Thai has done for me. Teep to the face, the win. Winning a belt is easy. For me, I thought it was easy. I really love being the underdog. I guess always been that dark horse. I don't really like people expecting anything from me. So winning it is great. Defending it is a whole nother story. You've got to prove yourself. You've got something to prove and you've got something to lose. So that mentality is really important when you actually defend your belt, because not only are you training to beat this person who's trying to take your belt, you also have all this to prove. Yeah, you put this expectation on yourself that you have to beat this person because you are already at the top of the hill, and you also think that other people have that expectation of you as well. But at the end of the day, it's just another fight. It's good. It was my first fight for champions. I was fighting at 67 kilos. I'm fighting at 61 this weekend. It's a big weight difference there. So weight cutting is a huge part of Muay Thai, especially when you're fighting for a title. You need to make sure that you're on weight or underneath. If not, obviously you don't fight. If you hold the belt, you lose it. It is quite hard to obviously manage your weight all year round. There's a lot of yummy foods. But yeah, I think as well, you need to be really honest with yourself and with your coach. So your coach needs to know where you are at with your weight. And they're the ones with the experience. They're the ones that are going to help you actually get to that weight. So yeah, I guess it's just trusting them, trusting yourself as well. If you feel like you're cutting too much weight, then it's not worth it. This is still a sport. It's, we do this to make ourselves better, not worse. So you don't want to put yourself or your body in a worse position. So yeah, it is hard, but it comes down to discipline. I mean, we deal with prejudice in everyday life without being fighters, but it is, I guess, magnified when people find out that you're a fighter. They have this expectation that you're, an aggressive woman, and it's not the case. We're athletes. This is a sport. I would say have a look at the top women in Australia. Like, these women are real women. These women are beautiful, and they're also fighters as well. You can be both. Why not? when you actually get into the ring, nothing else matters except what you do there. What keeps me sane through all of this is, I guess, keeping myself grounded, still socialising, seeing my friends, and I guess reminding myself that, you know, there's still a life outside of fighting. If you lose, you lose. You just got to give it your all. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thanks.